Hi, I'm Dave Roberts and this is Angling Escapades. Hello and welcome to Angling Escapades, and you join me on a glorious day on actually not the River Wye for a change. We've come to my childhood home, which is the River Lugg, and you see a lot different to the Wye. It's a much smaller, intimate river. This runs into the Wye probably about 4 miles downstream from here. This is where I spent my childhood. You know, this river holds chub, barbel, all species really, but chub, barbel, pike. Those are the main species I fish for here. There's not a big head of dace and roach generally, certainly not this time of year. And I was just after a quick session today, really, and I thought, well, what should I do? We had a real hard frost last night, -3. Beautiful day now. It's about air temperature's about 6 or 7 degrees, but yeah, -3 last night. So tough fishing, and I thought, well, it's either going to be pike or maybe chub. And I thought, you know what, I haven't done this for a long time. This is a place where I used to come. You know, John Wilson was my hero. You know, I used to spend hours watching go fishing, and you know, especially when I used to fish the Wensum, that was a river that I could relate to because it looked a little bit like this. And he used to do his winter fishing with his bread mash and bread flake and catching chub on that. And that's what I'm going to try and do today. It was only a quick session, so what I've done is I've brought with me. I've got a bucket of bread mash, which is you'll have seen this before if you've followed videos before. This is my bread mash, which is basically I just get a loaf of bread, stale loaf. It's actually a loaf I bought for a match a few weeks ago, didn't use, and I've just let it go stale, and then all I've done is I've just covered it with water, let it soak for about 10 minutes, and then just mashed it up. And then what I've done then, just to give it a bit more, is I've added in some crushed hemp into there. And all I do with this is just, you know, what I've done on the way up here. I've spotted about 4 or 5 swims I'd like to have a go in today, and I've just dropped a couple of little bits like this, just drop them into the edge, and that sort of disperses and makes a real sort of cloud on the water, and there's bits of bread going off here, there and everywhere. It's not a case of getting bait down and putting a bed of bait down. It's a case of getting those bits of bread floating through the swim, and we're just going to fish bread flake. I've just got my favourite bread, my Warburton's blue bag, and I'm just going to fish a big lump of flake. I'm just going to drop it. Swims like this. I've got a lovely tree line down through here, and swims like this hopefully will produce the goods. You know, I'm looking for a bite. -3 last night. That water temperature is going to be right down. The river has still got a little bit of colour in it. You know, it was over the fields a couple of weeks ago, so it drops off a bit slower, this one, and the colour stays in a little bit better, so that'll give us half a chance as well. And yeah, just going to have a cast around, see if we can get a few bites. Like I say, chub, and I can't see us catching anything else, but you never know. Stranger things have happened, but let's see if we can get a bite, and I think that'll be success today. Okay, so as I say, nice simple fishing, just bread flake and a straight lead. My rig is you know, a running ledger rig. I've got 8-pound line, nice flat lead there that will hold in this bit of extra flow, running lead, twizzled loop there, and then what, a 3-foot hook length. Got a size 6 hook on. Absolutely no need to be shy with hook size when you're fishing bread, because it absolutely, you know, even the smallest flake will just dwarf a piece of flake. And all I do is just squeeze it around the eye of the hook, and that helps. A bigger hook actually helps to hold it on there. You know, I'm going to be leaving that out for 3 or 4 minutes, so I need it to stay on there. But that's what you want. You want, you know, the doughy bit around the hook holding it in place, but all these fluffy bits sort of expanding in the water, and then the odd little bit coming off. And hopefully that'll attract one in. Just move that out of my way. So all I'm doing really is using the cover of these near bank trees. You know, that's where you expect them to be living, certainly when it's in clear conditions, but you know, I imagine it's the same when it's coloured. So I'm just going to flick it out into the flow and let it drop round under that bush there. That's nice. Probably about 7 or 8 foot of water there. It's a good depth. There we go. and we wait. And I won't feed too much at this stage. I don't want to overdo the feed, you know. I just wanted to put a little flavour out there. They'll find that, you know, if they're in the mood, they'll find that bread. Just put, you know, what I do is put just a couple of balls in each swim just before I start. Really, I don't need to pre-bait too much, and that bread will travel a long way. Oh, crikey. Well, that was a quick bite. I was not expecting that. Ooh. I don't think that's a big fish, but crikey, it's flying around. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Got straight through these brambles on the inside. Look at that. Come on, mister. Well, I'll tell you what, that was quicker than I expected. Oh, it's only really a small one for the lug, you know. There's a lot bigger fish than that in here. I'll tell you what, I'll take that as a start on a cold day. I mean, there's not a mark on that fish. There's an absolute little stunner. Look at that. I'll tell you what, on a day when you have, I say we started the day at -3, to have a bite that quickly, that's pretty impressive. Let's put you back, see if you've got any bigger cousins out there. What a great start. Back you go. Don't tell anyone you've been caught. I'll tell you what, I am well happy with that. So there you go. Just a big old piece of flake. Let's do exactly the same again. You know, it's a big target, but they can see it, but you know, there's lots of bits coming off it as well. Same spot again, just a little. I'm only using a 12-foot rod today. I don't need the long rods on this river because you're fishing at in close confine. You know, you're fishing at close quarters, so you don't need the big long rods. Because, like I say, 12-foot rod, and this is actually like a, you know, like an Avon quiver style rod, like John Wilson used to use. You know, it's what used to get you excited when I used to watch it on the telly. See, these fish, this is a very underfished river, you know, these fish don't see a lot of bait, so in some ways I wouldn't be surprised that I get a bite early because they won't see a lot of bait regularly, but still wasn't expecting anything that quick. Quite often the way as well with that one, it was like with chub, you get with bread and chub, they quite often give you a little tap first, you know, they come and have a little peck at it, see what it is, and then they have it properly. And that's exactly what happened there. It gave me a little warning as if to say, I'm there, and then bang. Straight into the trees as well when we rod. That wasn't very clever, was it? And this is the sort of river as well that, you know, because it's quite intimate, you know, you don't always get them lined up in one peg, so, you know, it's quite often, especially in the summer, I'll catch one fish, maybe two fish, if you're lucky, and move on, because it's just, yeah, it's just a bit, you just spook everything. But I think with the colour still in the water, and the depth and the cover of the trees, you know, I think we could be on for a second bite, and, you know, I'm sure there's bigger fish than that one there. I might just drop a little ball of the splodge in. What I'll do is just drop it down here at my feet, really, in this slack of water, and then it'll give it a chance to sink, and a few bits will go down there, some will go out, some will float off downstream. Just creates a little trail, or a big trail, hopefully. You don't need much of it, you know, bread is such a potent bait. Little peck then. what you're looking for is you get a little peck and then you're looking for it to just arc over, you know, fishing a running rig. That one didn't, that one just pecked and then nothing. Could be a smaller fish just pecking at it, but so usually bread fishing's so not easy, but they do give you a little warning, chub do. They'll give you a little tap and then sort of tunes you in time to get ready to go, and then bang. It's good though. I've had that one fish and then I've had another pluck, so I know there's other fish there. It's a beautiful day. It's literally hardly a cloud in the sky. Sunshine, but I know once that sun drops it's going to get very cold. But for now we'll enjoy these conditions. Monty is. Tip's moving around quite a lot, you know, with the flow. It's picking up, you know, it's back and forth and, you know, different boils and stuff. But when you actually get a pluck, you know, it stands out a mile. It's not, you know, there's no mistake in it. Yeah, I think I just had another little one then as well. Yeah. Yeah. That was nice. Again, not a massive fish, I don't think, but they want to get in these weeds here, so you've got to be quick on them. Some brambles in the water down here, and make a right on messy rig. Well, he had that was that bigger piece of bread, and he nailed that. But again, what a stunning little fish! Like, there's not a mark on it. Just put that. Put that on there so we can see it. Literally, not a mark on it. Just a few bits of bread down its throat. Probably never been caught before. Well, there's obviously a few of those down there. I wonder if there's some bigger ones down. But what a great start. It's gives you confidence to go to other swims now as well. We can keep going on this one as long as we get bites, but we can move on to other swims later on as well. Confident that we're going to get some action. Here you go, look. 2 casts. We'll virtually throw a slice of bread. Don't get me wrong, you could put the crusts on, but the trouble with the crusts is you can't mould them around the eye of the hook so they don't stay on so well. There you go, a couple of quick bites there on my first swim, so well happy with that. But I say today's about, I've seen at least 3 or 4 swims that I'd like to have a go at before we go on, and it's, you know, once the sun goes down today it's going to get pretty cold, so I'm going to keep moving, keep trying. We've had a couple of fish out of that one. I had about 3 or 4 other little taps which didn't develop into bites, but so there's obviously a few fish there, and I'm sure if I stayed there I'll get another bite. But let's go and have a look at some more swims. Right, now this swim here, proper little hole just between 2 bushes, but a real nice slack, and looks good for a bite, this one, but it's going to be tricky because of the lack of room I've got. But so I'm just going to creep into it. I'm not even taking a rod rest. I'm just going to use the bank because it's a high bank, and I'm just going to drop in there and see if we can get a bite out of this one. This is the mad thing with this river. Sometimes it just sort of looks flat, calm and slack, and then all of a sudden it just starts boiling up. Still no, still not moving through, but it's sort of boiling up off the bottom and looks untidy then. It's a proper little nook really. It's not as deep here as it was up there, so I don't know whether the fish will be here, but it's the sort of place between two bushes where you've got a chance. Here we go. Trying to get into all kinds down there. Nice fish. Nice fish, that one. Oh, I can't give it an inch because that's a nice fish, that is. That's a nice lug chub. Yes. Now, that's a proper River Lugg winter chub. Oof. Now, I'm not going to make too much noise because there might be a chance of another one, but I'll tell you what, I am having that. What colours with the sun on that? Few little marks on it, but little chip off its tail. Been round the block that one, but in perfect condition. Got all its winter weight on. How good's that? Well, there we go. I'm not surprised. That was just one bite out of that peg. Such a bit of a parrot cage type peg, and all that disruption catching that fish. You imagine there's probably plenty under here, but that's what this river's like. If you get make too much noise, then it really affects your fishing. So I'm happy with that. Nice fish from a nice peg, but I'm going to move on. There's pegs lower down that I feel like I've got more scope for multiple bites. But so far, 2 swims, 3 fish. Can't be bad. Right, now I've come to one of the swims now that I really fancy. I really fancy the look of for multiple bites. You can see the sun's starting to go down now. You can just feel the air temperature just starting to drop a little bit. It's a beautiful day. I feel like this is the best time now before the temperature really plummets. So if I just show you the swim, let me turn this round. So this is the swim. So you've got all the cover is on the far bank really, and you can see those overhanging trees. On a low clear river, I imagine that's where they all sit. But feel it runs right down that far bank, and on this side here on the inside we've got slack water here, and I feel like by casting over it sort of this direction, on the edge of that tree line, and then it just sort of swing off the edge of there, and maybe they might be in the slack water down here, but there's a long tree line. It goes right downstream, and just fancy that there might be some fish that will come onto the feed. So what I'm going to do is actually put some bait in. And I'm going to put a bit more bait in this one, and I'm going to put it sort of upstream up here somewhere. I'll put it up here somewhere and let it just drift down, trickle down, and sort of draw those fish from down below, hopefully. That's lovely there, because that's hitting there and that's following that line right down under, and it's pushing away from us here, so it sort of goes under that far bank. There's got to be fish will find that trail of bread and hopefully move on to it. But I'm going to cast into that sort of gap a little bit there and just let it drop into here. So far, you know, we've had some bites so far, so hopefully we can get some here. Right, let's get the rod. Well, this has been the first swim that we failed at so far. Not had a snip, I can't believe it. It looks absolutely fantastic. And I've actually been sat here, I didn't realise quite how deep it was here. It's changed over the years. There's a real good depth down the middle here. I've been sat here thinking I could be fishing a float, running it right the way down there. Looks like a lovely, lovely peg for float fishing. And I have got a rod with me and I've been tempted, I've been back and forth, but time's getting on in the day. The sun's just about disappeared now. Temperature's dropping. But I do feel like we've got one more bite in us somewhere, and I've got one more swim that I want to try, which I don't mind fishing into the dark a little bit. But I can't believe I haven't had a bite here, to be honest. Looks lovely. That's winter fishing for you, isn't it? You know, those fish could be sat tight under the trees, or you know, just not quite willing to come out into the flow and have a proper feed. But I am surprised I haven't had a bite here. But I just love it. I love being on this river. This is, like I say, this is my childhood, and as much as it's, you know, very different to the Wye and the bigger rivers we fish, the Trent and the Severn, this river taught me a lot about the way rivers flow. You know, about how water moves and where fish lie, and you know, like here where you've got flow on one side and slacks on the inside, and you've got to find that, you know, that area where the fish might be sitting. And it doesn't matter whether I catch. When I come down here, I don't come down here often enough, but it doesn't matter whether I catch or not, because it's just a lifetime of memories. And but every time I come, I think, why don't I come more often? Because it's just such an interesting and intimate river. But I would like it just to give me one more bite, just to really round off what's been a lovely afternoon. I see Monty's starting to lose faith, I think, a little bit now. He's basking in the sunshine's gone, and he'll be starting to shiver soon, won't you, boy? Yeah. Right, so this will be our last move. It's now, the sun's gone down, it's virtually dark, but it's still, because it's such a clear night, you can still see plenty. So spot here, coming off, you can see I've got a tree above me, I think you can see anyway, and it creates a nice slack on the inside. So I'm going to fish out just past middle and let it drop in to the slack. I'll put some bait in. So it's now a case of whether these fish are searching around now the light's dropped, or whether because it's now gone, you know, the temperature's plummeting now, which might just, I mean, I suppose the water temperature isn't, but you know, it just feels that way, doesn't it? You get these plummeting temperatures and you feel like the fish sort of shut down. It'd be nice to get one more bite. I can't believe I didn't have, well, I had one little pluck out of that last swim, but not a proper bite. But you can hear we're by the road now, so we're getting down. I haven't got far to go to the van, so I don't mind sitting in the cold for half an hour just to see if we can get one more bite. It's not a bad night for sea, you know, I can see the tip. Yeah, see, there's a bit of a glow from the sky where the sun has set, so beautiful evening. It'd be made even more beautiful if we could just get a bite. It's a good bit of flow here as it comes around the bend. It sort of flows hard to the far bank and then straight down towards the bridge. So you'd hope any fish that are moving up and down would find our bait. Well, we've had to wait till dark, but I'll tell you what, that's a chunk of a chub that is. Well, I don't know how much you can see, I can't see a lot myself, but it's taken till it's gotten dark to get a bite out of this swim, and to be fair, I think it was worth waiting for. It's got to be £5 that. Stunning chub, beautiful condition. Worth the wait, I reckon. I'll tell you what, it is freezing now, and I think Monty's about to go on strike, so I think that will be our last fish. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this afternoon session. Just a brilliant session on, you know, what was always my favourite river, place I grew up, and you know, it was only half a mile from my house, so that's why I spent so much time here. But and it just makes me want to come back more. Every time I come I think, why don't I come more, because it's just got so much to offer. A little intimate river. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I say we're going to keep them coming now. We're going to, you know, winter time it's easier to get some done for us, but we're going to try and go right through the year because it obviously proves popular. So we've got, you know, and we keep, I've realised that I can do more quick videos like I have today. I'm filming on my phone today, you know, things like that, so we can hopefully get some more quick snips and things like that. So we'll try and keep them coming, but please keep subscribing, keep your messages coming, and we'll keep, you know, we'll keep getting these videos and bring the story of the River Wye and the River Lugg. So for now, we're going to go get warmed up, let this fish go, and we'll see you next time.